When most of us think about school shootings, our minds usually go to high schools, but as recent events have proven, colleges are far from immune to this tragedy. I'm not here to get into the morass of arguments about guns and gun safety and gun policy. Those are important conversations, but do nothing to protect our kids in college today. So today, we'll talk about the 5 most important things your college student should know about how to survive if this kind of violence comes to their campus. It's enraging that this conversation is necessary, but it is. So let's have it in the best way possible. Beginning with number 5. Teach them how to scout locations. As you'll see in later entries, mobility and escape are the best defenses against an armed attacker. That means a college student must know how to get in and out of any place they're at. In this way, they have a worse time than you or I. We work in offices we go to every day for years at a time, meaning we're intimately familiar with the places we spend the most hours. Students change schedules every semester, moving location around the time they start to really get familiar with where they're taking class. We can teach them to scout each classroom ahead of time, looking for 2 ways out if they need to get away. The same goes for cafeterias, dorms, auditoriums, gyms, and even routes through campus, anywhere they're likely to need to know how to escape. Now, putting this little thought ahead of time might feel scary, but it's actually comforting. In this world, college kids already worry about school shootings. Giving them this simple tool can ease that worry, while also empowering them against this big fear, and also against smaller ones like fires or even just an overcrowded hallway. Number 4, if you must attack viciously. This is low on the list because it's the last resort. Students should escape the area if they can, barricade themselves in if they can't, and engage the shooter only as a last resort. But if that last resort comes, they must attack. They don't fight, and they sure as hell don't fight fair. They should attack from ambush, armed with whatever they can improvise, and with as many people as they can to help. There are no experts in civilian self-defense against an active shooter. Nobody in the world has done it twice yet. That said, experts on body mechanics, armed combat, and physical self-defense have found a few things that can improve the odds reliably. For pistols, ignore the gun. It's too small to grab and too easy for them to control. Instead, strike the head and face as hard and fast as you can with whatever weapons are handy. For rifles, grab and control the weapon. They're easier to interfere with and harder for the attacker to control. In both cases, have a helper grab the legs and take the attacker to the ground. Whenever possible, hit first to ruin their vision with a hot coffee, a blast from a fire extinguisher, or even thrown paper or water, then come in to the attack before they can recover. It's more complex than that, but this is a good start. You can check some of my other videos for deeper instruction in this, or go find a qualified local defense instructor. But most important, remember that this is a last resort, only to be used when escaping and denying fail. Number 3. Deny access whenever possible. Denying an attacker access to your student goes much further from hiding under a desk and hoping for the best. Distance is the best denial, which is why escape is the first option whenever possible. But if not, students can deny access by barricading themselves into a room. Locking the door is a first step, but only the beginning. If the door opens inward, create a chain of desks and other furniture reaching to the opposite wall. If it opens outward, stack a pile of furniture in the way. Most shooters, the statistics show, will move on when faced with an obstacle like that. Those who don't will have to use their hands to move the pile, leaving them vulnerable to attack. When it's possible, don't stop after setting up denial. The best plan is to get to a safer room, barricade the door, then keep moving closer to safety by leaving through a window or other means of escape. Number 2, run toward safety, not away from danger. Getting away from the shooter is the best way to ensure surviving this kind of situation, but there are right ways and wrong ways to do it. First, run in this context doesn't just mean running. It means running, sprinting, walking, crawling, climbing, ducking, and even standing still, all with the goal of reaching safety. Second, like I said, run toward safety, not away from danger. This applies to any escape from violent crime, but is most urgent in a school shooting situation. Having this goal in mind will keep your student from running into a dead end or other dangerous situation while they're attempting to escape. One more note about this. Not even professional soldiers and SWAT officers can reliably determine from sound alone which direction shots are coming from indoors. We can teach our college-age kids to use other cues, like the movement of other students, what they know about the building's layout and access, and the location of emergency exits to plan the route of their escape. Number 1, move first, ask questions later. As humans, our self-preservation instincts are excellent. We need to listen to our gut feelings and observations about danger coming our way. Unfortunately, college students have just spent 12 years being taught to ignore their instincts and instead follow the instructions of authorities and the pressure of their social milieu. And they haven't had much, if any, adult experience yet to teach them otherwise. So we need to remind them that they are in charge of their safety, have the right to disobey adults, and make peers uncomfortable if they feel they need to leave a situation. In the event of a shooting, this can mean they're out the door before the trouble starts. And that also applies to less severe and serious situations, like a party that starts to get out of hand, a bar or a restaurant where bad elements show up, or even a relationship that begins showing red flags for abuse. Listen, I want to thank you for sticking with me for this unpleasant and uncomfortable conversation. If you like what I did here, please take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel, and do leave a comment if you disagree or if you have any questions. Thank you again, everybody. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time.